to my channel. Today I decided to make a video about plants because I recently, last June, became a plant enthusiast, and I've been learning for the last 7 months all about houseplants and how to care for them. And I've watched a million YouTube videos trying to figure out how to care for all the ones that I personally have right at this moment. And what I have found out for where I live right now in southern Nevada is a lot of the YouTube videos that I watch and all the care tips that I've found, they are a little bit over the top. So this video is more of a lazy houseplant hobbyist video because in my experience for the last 7 months, all of the care tips don't really pertain to me because I didn't need to be that crazy with my care. What I mean is, I watch these videos and I see everyone with making their own soil. They're mixing like 4 different types of materials: dirt, perlite, moss. So they're doing it for plants that are a little bit more care, but what I've seen with my plants personally is that I don't need to do all that. So this is a lazy video for people that love plants but maybe don't have enough time or don't have a lot of money to spend on 4 different materials for their soils. So hope you enjoy this video. Now today I'm going to take this Monstera. As you can see, these leaves are not that great. They don't look that great. I bought this Monstera last year for about 60 bucks, and it was huge, so I was like, oh my god, this is a score, it's 60 bucks, and you know, Monsteras never go for that price in my area. But when I got it, I had never had one before, and it wasn't taken care of very well. The lady, it was kind of funny because the lady that I bought it from, I had told her, you know, I've never had a Monstera, so I'm not really sure how to care for it. And she sent me this like long paragraph after paragraph of care tips. So I expected to get this Monstera and it'd be like in pristine health with all the care tips that she had given me. And when I got it, like, most of the leaves had brown spots on them. A lot of them were curling in. It didn't look very healthy. So I, just gave it a lot of love. I let it be. At the time that I got it, we were remodeling my house, so unfortunately I kept moving it from room to room to room, and I was like, this poor Monstera is not going to make it. But I ended up giving it a lot of care, a lot of sunlight, and it has been thriving ever since. All of the new leaves that it's gotten are like huge and beautiful with no brown spots on them, so I'm just very happy. Like you can see here, this is a new leaf. It's small, but it came to this plant in water propagation. These are the leaves that came on the plant when I first bought it, and they just don't look good at all. It's actually broken right here, so that's why I'm going to plant this one today, and I'm going to stake it up so that it stands straighter. But eventually, when it gets more leaves, I'm probably just going to cut this off. I could probably cut it off right now, but it's still okay, so I'm just going to leave it. So, anyways, how I have been transplanting my plants. Now, this huge Monstera that I got, I have actually, once I knew that it was very healthy and it was thriving, I started cutting it because it was just, there's leaves going everywhere. If you have Monsteras, you know that it can get kind of crazy if you don't take care of it. So I started cutting it and propagating it, and I've actually made 5 separate plants from it so far that have actually rooted and taken off and have been doing good. 2 of them are in soil already, and 3 of them I still have in water. Today I'm going to plant this one. I'm going to plant another one in a few days, and then, or whenever I get time for it later. And then the 3rd one that's still in water, I'm actually going to leave it in water. I'm going to buy it a bigger container of water, and I'm going to see how it does in water. It's going to be kind of an experiment because all of these are like thriving in water. They are popping off new leaves left and right. So that one I'm just going to keep it in water, not do much, and just keep the water fresh and see how it does. So, anyways, 2 of them are in soil right now and they're popping off new leaves. They're doing so good for me. Actually, that's a lie. I have 3 of them that I put in soil. So I've had 6 plants off of the main plant so far. So yeah, 3 of them in soil. So, like I said, this is a lazy video. You do not need fancy pots. You do not need the fancy mesh that goes at the bottom of your pot to cover the drain hole. Nothing. You need to have love and attention to your plants, and that's it, in my point of view. So, this is from a pie, the pre-made pie crust. This is literally just the container that came on the pre-made pie crust that I am using for a drainage tray. And this is a terracotta pot. You're probably thinking like, oh, those are expensive. This was $1 at the 99-cent store. So if you have a 99-cent store, definitely go around springtime and also like the end of the summer when it's not planting season anymore, and they should have tons of pots because we've gotten tons of pots from different locations at different times of the year also for $1. I think the most expensive ones we bought were $1.50 and they were just flat. They didn't have the little lip on them. But $1.50, this was just on a pre-made pie crust, and it has a big drainage hole. I'm just going to block the drainage hole with a rock, just so it's got a little bit of space around it. I don't know if you can see that, but it covers it a little bit, and the water will seep through just enough so it doesn't sit in water too much. Which I don't really think you need to do that too bad with terracotta because the water will soak into the pot as well. So it doesn't really stay like super wet in there. But anyways, so I don't make my own soil either. I mean, I think it's cool when people do because I'm like, oh, look at you, you have like your own special soil, you know, but I don't do that. So maybe I will one day, but not today. I am using Miracle Grow Indoor Potting Mix. So I have bought like a ton of, this is all that I've planted all my houseplants in so far, and all of them are doing wonderful. So, and I don't have any fancy cups for this. This is an aluminum can. That's what I use for my dirt most of the time. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump some of this, break up all the big chunks that are in here. Oh, I hear the clacking. Here comes my doggy. Hi, Mama. You gotta go for a second, my love. Mama's making a video. Now she's breaking my plant. I think that the plants that survive after they've been beat up a little are the strongest plants because they're like, I'm not going down without a fight. So, there's that. Oh, she did actually break my plant. Oh no, she ripped a leaf off. Oh well, that was on the leaf that's kind of not looking too great anyway. Alright, so I'm just putting the soil in here and breaking up some of the clumps. Alright, so this plant has been propagating for, I mean, probably a few months now. I honestly just leave them, and then when I come water the rest of my plants, I will go and make sure these have fresh water in them. Another thing too, a lot of people will say like, you need to change it every 2 days, which you probably should, but I don't really do that. Sometimes I don't have time. I'm a mom of 3, I have a 6-month-old baby, and I just don't have time to change my water every 2 days. So sometimes I let it sit for a little bit too long. This one I think dried out a little bit because it looks like it was making a new leaf and then it started to die, so I feel bad that I let it dry out. I'm just going to go ahead and take that off. But look at these roots. This is so beautiful. When I see roots like this, I just like go crazy. I'm like, look at this. I show my husband every day. Every time I go to change the water, I'm like, look at the roots today. Look at the roots today. Because I get so excited. But Yeah, these are beautiful roots. We got a little bit of black right here, but the rest of them look beautiful. So excited. Monsteras are probably way over, what is it called? Like, they're one of the ones that are over, this is my son. He had to come give mama hugs. Oh my god, I can't even think of the word, but they're like everywhere. Monsteras are like, oh my god, Monstera, Monstera. And I think a lot of people that are houseplant people get like over it. They're over it. They're just like, Monsteras, they're everywhere. I don't care for Monsteras. Me personally, they're still my favorite. I mean, I've only been doing this for 7 months and I still have a lot of houseplants that I haven't seen yet or had. But I think they're just so beautiful. Their leaves are, I mean, their leaves can get humongous. I will show you my big Monstera later. The leaves are giant and I love it. So yeah, the leaves are beautiful. I'm just going to go ahead and stick this like in there like that. I'll probably actually stick it in there a little bit deeper so that...
So you're going to dig a hole?
Dig a little bit of hole.
Good.
Alright, so I got that in the dirt a little bit. It's probably like 4 inches down in the dirt. So I'm just gonna fill it in. Break up some more of those little clumps that are in there. Yeah, so Monsteras are, I mean, when I got my Monstera, I was freaking out because I was like, I do not want this thing to die on me. People talk about how much care Monsteras take, and they're so expensive. I'm sure that they're a lot of work. But honestly, my Monstera plant has been like the easiest plant ever. It really doesn't take that much work. I mean, it likes to be wet, so I just make sure that the soil is only dry on like the first 1 to 2 inches. And even then, I think I've let the big one dry out a couple times, just when I gotten really busy with whatever else. And it still produces leaves left and right. So I live in a very warm climate, southern Nevada. It gets 120 here in the summer. Our winter has really not been that cold. And I have a thermometer in my plant room here. So my plants in here, it hasn't gotten below like 55 degrees or so. What?
Yeah, some chips.
No baby, not right now. No chips for breakfast. So yeah, it hasn't gotten below 55 in here. I keep the thermometer in here just because I have so many plants and I don't want them to die. And they have been thriving. I mean, I'm in a couple of Facebook groups and a lot of them will say like, oh, it's winter and none of my plants are producing leaves. And I'm sure that's true for a lot of climates, but for us, my plants have not stopped producing leaves. So it's like nothing has changed for me during the winter here. I just keep propagating. I keep having to make sure all my plants are watered because it stays pretty warm here. Over the weekend here it was 70 degrees and it's still only February, so I love it. I don't think I will ever leave southern Nevada permanently. Alright, so I usually pack the dirt in for this one. I don't know if you use different dirt, it might not be as fluffy, but when I water it, it'll just sink down anyway, so I try to pack it pretty good. And then I just fill in dirt as, like, all the way up to the top. I know a lot of videos, they'll say, like, don't fill it up all the way to the top, but as soon as I'm going to put water on this right now, the water's going to push the dirt down, so it's just going to be lower anyway. So I pack it, and the water will just loosen it up a little bit. Alright. I'm sure you can hear my kids in the back too screaming. It's really hard for me to find quiet time with 3 kids. And we want more kids. So when I get a chance to make a video, I jump on it. Everyone's happy for 2 seconds? Let's do this. Okay, so now this beautiful Monstera is all planted. And it's got this new leaf that tried, but it looks like it might try again. And then there's more. This is a brand new leaf that happened while it was in the water. No, like I said, this one's all broken. I might just end up cutting this one off, but I just didn't want to cut it off yet because I just don't want to ruin the ecosystem. Okay, so that is my Monstera. Soil is just basic Miracle-Gro potting soil, the indoor potting mix. Now I was thinking about propagating some more of my Monstera because it is getting kind of bushy at the bottom. It's kind of small on the top, I'll show you right now, but there's so much happening in the bottom that I was thinking about cutting off some of the smaller plants and just having one huge like stem. So I'm going to show you now how I propagate a Monstera plant. Alright, so it's kind of dark in here. I closed the windows because you can't really see with them open. But if you can see right here, this is a brand new leaf on my Monstera. And it is giant. This one is so beautiful. This is my hand at the bottom. It's probably like 2 or 3 hands across. 2 hands tall. I have little hands too though. But anyways, this is a new leaf. This is a new leaf also. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. Which is bigger than that last one. And these are some of the leaves that I had when I got it. They're all broken. This one is all ripped. So I think that it's happy now with me. All the leaves that it's been producing look so much healthier. So here's a new leaf, another one, a small one. If it would focus. There we go. This one is a brand new leaf. It looks all nice and healthy. But it's getting a lot of small little things going on here. So I think I'm going to cut right here so that this big long one with those 2 beautiful new leaves will keep thriving. And I'm just going to kind of remove this side just so it's got more space and all these little ones will have more room. I mean, there's so much space in here, I don't really need to. A lot of people will say, oh, you don't need to transplant it until, you know, it's huge and the roots are coming out, but for my experience, it's not bad to transplant it if it's healthy and you think that you can get a good node. So I'm going to go ahead and cut right there. Alright, so it's kind of hard to see, but this is my main stem right here. Here, let's see. This one is my main one. Focus. There we go. And this looks like a whole separate thing. So I'm going to actually cut into the soil below this right here. This one. And then I will show you what I got from it. Alright, so this is what I got from that. I pulled off the one that was forming a new leaf. I'm sure a lot of people are like cringing at this right now. Why would you get it when it's got a new leaf forming? But this is the root that I couldn't see. It was way under the ground. And so I cut right there. This is a node right here. So this is a node. Come on, focus. You can see that it's got an aerial root starting right there. Right there you can see the aerial root. It's got this nice long root system. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in water. And I will update you guys in a few months because I'm probably going to leave this for a month or 2. And it'll have roots like the one I showed you at the beginning of the video. So here we go. Alright, so this is the Monstera that I just propagated. I have it in an old pickle jar. So you see the YouTube videos and the Instagram posts and you're like, oh my god, those people have so many beautiful jars and pots, and it's beautiful. I love it. But the best thing that you can use is something that you already have. You don't need to go buy fancy glasses when you have glasses already at your house. So the whole bottom shelf of one of my cupboards is old glass jars that I've kept. You have jars from everything from salsa to tomato sauce to pickles, olives, I mean, you name it, and I'm sure you bought something that comes in a glass jar. I usually keep all of my glass stuff and I wash it and I just save it, and before I got plants I was like, what am I doing with all of this glass stuff? Why do I keep all of this glass? Then I started doing plants and I was like, I don't have enough glass. I am propagating every plant left and right, and these are perfect. So if you have glass jars, you can do so many things with them too. You can scrape off all of the old labels. You can duct tape it on the top and then spray paint the bottom, so just the bottom's painted and it'll look beautiful. Whatever you want. Reuse what you have and you can make it look wonderful. But you could just, I mean, this one still has labels on it, but it's going to propagate my Monstera, so it works. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my channel because I want to do some more organized houseplant videos in the future. I'm also going to be doing videos on our garden outside because we are planting this huge garden outside. We had one a couple years ago, but the last 2 years have been a little hectic, as you know. So we kind of didn't do anything the last couple years, but this year I am at home full time and I want to have the biggest garden imaginable. So subscribe and we will keep you updated on all things